told me that her boss is more attractive than me and quickly said it was a joke. I took revenge. Do you know how some truths come out as jokes? Yeah, I am here to tell how my wife Elena taught me the power of truth, told as a joke, or how I taught her some lessons she will never be able to forget. So you get comfortable and read it calmly because it is going to be a very interesting story, I promise. Hi Reddit guys, I am Nathan, 32 years old. I have been happily married for many years until the unexpected happened. I met my wife Claire when we were very young in college. Actually, junior year of college. I was studying computer science and she was studying communication, so we were not running in the same circle, but fate has a strange way of crossing paths that would have never crossed. Claire thrived in social settings, so she was the extroverted person while I was the introverted one. I would always choose to stay alone and enjoy my own presence. We met at a party organized by a friend we both knew. She was in her habitat while I was dragged there by a roommate who always said I needed to socialize more. Claire was the one that noticed me at a table trying to hide from everyone, trying to hide from socializing while she was glowing. With her red hair and her beautiful smile, she came to my table, teasing me and asking if I was hiding or if I really liked the chips on the table that much. To stay just there, I smiled, and I told her a little bit of both. So that was how it all started. Claire's confidence was kind of magnetic. And before I even understood how we were talking, she was asking me about my life, my major, or even my hobbies. I asked her the same question, and there I found out that she was studying communication and she dreamed about being an event planner. Claire expanded that she liked that because she loved to bring people together and create unforgettable moments and memories. Our relationship started very slow and in a secure way. It was like we completed each other. So she taught me how to party, she pulled me out of my shell, and I was her grounding force. I was the one that would calm her storms. I was her supporter and her advisor in every case. After we graduated, I started working as a software engineer while Claire was doing an internship at an event planning company. We moved in together, and not long after, I proposed and we got married. We basically grew up together, and I thought we could always rely on each other. We were friends because we were lovers, but you see how things don't always go as planned, and the people that you love the most are the ones that hurt you most. That is what happened. Claire cheated on me, and I went through situations I never thought I would be able to survive. But at the age I would never let anyone play me that way. Claire wanted to, so I took my revenge, and it was harsh, but she deserved that, and even more for betraying my trust and acting on my back. She was the closest person to me, and I never expected her to do those things, but she did. At that time, I thought all was fine and we were the perfect couple, but if I look back now, I can see the cracks in our relationship. She was always expanding her circle while mine stayed the same, and my focus was always her. I loved her the most, cared for her because she was everything to me. She was my world, and I felt so proud of her. But she stopped seeing me trying and doing everything for her. Strange, isn't it, how you become invisible to someone who, back in time, made you feel like you were the most special person in the world? So yeah, everything was going fine. We didn't have any problems. Apart from that, she was working really too much. She used to be late almost every night. But later I would find out that she was not just working. She was doing more than that. Actually, she was not working on those nights she came late or those work trips she took. She was not even working on Saturdays when she told me she had a meeting about an event. She was cheating on me with her boss, Aaron. Aaron came to her company 2 years ago. She didn't talk much about him before until one night it started all as a joke. We were both sitting on the couch and watching TV. Actually, she was watching her phone, and suddenly she told me that her boss is more attractive than me and quickly said it was a joke. I took revenge. My revenge didn't start there. To be clear, guys, at that moment it was just a joke, and I tried to convince myself about that. As soon as she told me that her boss was more attractive than me, she showed me a picture of him. He was a good looking man. But how could she make a joke like that with me that I was her husband? Those kinds of jokes became more frequent, and she started coming late more frequently as well. Every night or day, she would tell me different things like, Aaron complimented my outfit today. Isn't he nice? Or Aaron made this hilarious joke today. He is so funny. I started getting very suspicious about her and Aaron because to me, all the things she said were not normal. One day, she even said that Aaron was training a lot and he had such a hot body. I could not take it anymore, but I didn't want to react in front of her. I wanted to find out what was going on between her and Aaron. Lately, she also started staying on her phone a lot when she was home. So she was working almost all the time. And when she was not, she was on her phone writing and smiling to herself. We didn't communicate anymore. And we didn't have intimacy anymore. We didn't have sex or anything. We didn't go on dates. We barely slept together. I was at a point where I didn't want to talk to her anymore about what was going on with us. Because I already knew, or better, I had my doubts. Another thing that happened that also broke my heart and drove me into investigating deeper and deeper was the fact that she forgot about my birthday. She totally forgot. She didn't wish me a happy birthday. During that day, we were both working, and I thought that maybe she organized something for me that night. I thought she had a birthday surprise for me, but no, like every other night, she came late from work, and as soon as she came, she started telling me about her boss, Aaron. How he did an amazing job with a client, and how good he was, how professional or good looking. She broke my heart, really. I listened to her carefully, and I tried to keep calm. When she was done, she found the time to ask me how my day at work went, so I told her it went great. My colleagues had organized a small party for my birthday, which you forgot. She became pale and started apologizing to me for forgetting it, but it was too late, and it made no sense at all. She did what she did. And that night, she saw me getting ready and asked where I was going. I told her I was going to celebrate my birthday with my friends and I would drink that night. Anyway, as days passed by, she continued being the same and talking about her boss all the time. Aaron was the director at the company she worked for. By the way, I guess I didn't tell this during the story, so she was the same. And I started investigating. One night, she was taking a shower and her phone buzzed. I am not proud of what I did, but in the situation I was in, I had to see who was writing. The curiosity and the doubt that I was being played got the best of me, and I read the message that had just come. It was Aaron. I had an incredible time with you tonight. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. The ground trembled beneath my feet. My doubts were true, and she was cheating on me with her boss. I started reading the conversation between them because she was being careless and had not deleted everything. Guess what I saw? Flirty messages, very intimate pictures. All the time she said she was working late, she was with him. Claire had been cheating on me. I thought about confronting her right away, but it would be too easy. And I didn't want it to be easy. If Claire thought that she was playing me, I would show her what a real game looked like. I was going to play along with her, and I was going to leave her destroyed and with nothing left. For the moment, I took screenshots of their conversations and pictures that they had been sending to each other. Then when she got out, I played it cool. I started acting like nothing was wrong, so she could think that I didn't suspect anything. I started taking care of her a lot more than before. I started cooking for us, organizing dates or even short trips. She was again coming late from work and telling me she was working hard. The first step that I was going to take on my revenge was investing in myself and focusing on myself. So she said that Aaron was more attractive than me, huh? I started going to the gym to make Claire see what she was about to lose. I wanted to become the best version of myself. Actually, going to the gym helped me a lot during those times, not just to look good, but to manage my emotions as well, or to feel better with myself. One day, she asked me what happened and why I had become such a gym addicted person. I told Claire that I was doing this for her and I wanted to look attractive for her. She smiled and she believed it. I was doing this for me, actually. Soon, my physical form started changing and I started to notice the difference. Meanwhile, I found and hired a private investigator and also installed a GPS on my wife's car. I saw that she was going a lot to a hotel with Iran, and the private investigator took pictures of them holding hands or kissing each other. Maybe you will ask if I ever got tempted to confront her. I did, guys, many times, and it was not easy, but confronting her would make Claire get away with it very easily, and I wanted her to feel how I felt. So I planned my revenge in steps and in a strategic way. I even saw them kissing myself. I went one time to the hotel they were going to during those nights that she was coming very late, or during those Saturdays that she told me that she was working, and I saw them coming out of the hotel holding hands. And then he opened her car's door for her and gave her a kiss. How could someone do that? I mean, they were both married. Aaron even had a kid, a 3-year-old daughter. How could he do that to his wife and his girl? I guess people make choices in their life, and he had made his choice. They were both going to destroy their lives. You can't cheat on someone and then get away with it. It doesn't work like that. Anyway, let's get back to the real story. At home, the situation was the same. I was still acting like nothing was wrong, but every time I got a chance, I used to check her phone and take screenshots of their conversations, which started getting nastier every time and more. My wife was sending a lot of intimate pictures to him, pictures where she was half naked or almost naked. Who was she? She was nothing like the girl I knew before. I mean, she had always been extremely extroverted, but I thought she had her values. I never thought she would cheat on me in that disgusting way. During those days, I thought I would organize a weekend trip for us in some place that had no Wi-Fi and the internet would not work, because I wanted to see how she would react. Would she be able to stay there with me without talking or writing to her lover? And that is what I did. I talked to Claire and told her I was organizing this short weekend trip for our anniversary, which would be that same weekend. She got excited because she didn't know that there would be no internet. She also got excited because she thought I didn't know anything about her affair and she was getting away with it. Claire was enjoying Aaron's presence while she had also me. Sometimes I wonder how she could do that to me and to another woman, Aaron's wife. There was a child in that marriage. How could she not stop for a moment and think about that child and that family, or even our family? I guess I never really knew her like she really was. Or maybe people do change and she changed along the way. I don't know, and it doesn't really matter anymore. So yeah, we went on this trip, and when we got to this small hotel in the mountains, Claire noticed that there was no Wi-Fi right away, and she asked me why. I told her that we were there to reconnect with each other and spend time with each other. That is why I had chosen that small hotel there. I could notice her face changing, so I asked her, "Is there any problem? Why do you need Wi-Fi? We are here together, and we will enjoy each other's presence and celebrate our anniversary." She made a fake smile and told me she was expecting some important messages from her boss, Aaron, regarding work. Again, Aaron. I saw her reaction. Claire was not happy to be there. Neither was I. But I was doing this as a part of my revenge. Anyway, we stayed there at night, and I tried to enjoy the place and nature. She was there talking all the time about her work and her boss. I was disgusted by the person she had turned out to be. During the night, I asked her if she had anything to tell me. She got pale and asked me, "What should I tell you? You already know everything. I said I didn't know, I was just asking maybe something about Iran. I noticed the change in her face, and that is what I wanted to see. I wanted her to start suspecting if I knew anything or not. She said that there was nothing new about Iran. He was a great person and a professional one. Suddenly, she started talking about Iran's family like she wanted to tell me that he has a family and there was nothing between them. Yeah, it was true he had a family, and it was disgusting the way she used it at that moment. I could not say anything more because I just wanted her to suspect. I didn't want to confront her yet. My revenge was not done yet. Anyway, the next day we turned back home and I continued my plans for revenge. As soon as we got home, she told me she was going to see her mom, and instead she went to this hotel with Ron. She could not wait a day without meeting him. What a shame. The next step was that I started transferring money from our joint bank account to my personal one. And I also found a divorce lawyer that was specifically specialized in infidelity cases. I wanted to keep the house, and I also wanted to get the divorce papers ready because Claire's birthday was getting closer, and I was going to surprise her on her birthday. I was excited to do that. I was going to leave her with nothing. The next step was to contact Iran's wife. Her name was Olivia, and she worked as a corporate attorney in a prestigious law firm. I found her on social media and sent her a message. I asked her if I could meet her because I needed her help regarding a legal question, and she agreed. Actually, she agreed because I also told her that I was Claire's husband, a colleague of her husband. Olivia was such a kind and easygoing person. I met her in a cafe, and I also took with me the file with all the proofs about the affair of Claire and Iran. Olivia seemed to be a very successful and respected woman. Her presence itself was like she commanded respect. Anyway, as soon as I got there, I introduced myself and told her that I was actually there because my wife was having an affair with her husband, so I told her the truth. She was shocked, and she told me, "What are you talking about? Who are you?" I handed her the file, and she opened it and saw all the evidence. Tears came from her eyes, but as the strong woman that she was, she wiped away her tears immediately and took a serious stance. And then she told me, to be honest, I had been having my doubts because Aaron always comes late from work. But I didn't have the guts to investigate. I guess I was afraid of what I could find. She told me that Aaron talked a lot about Claire, about what a professional and kind person she was. That is also why Olivia had begun to suspect that there was something between them in the first place. I told her that I was really sorry that the two of us had to go through this situation, but what was done, and we could not fix it. I talked with Olivia about my plan of revenge, and I asked her if she could keep silent for some days more. She agreed, and she told him that she was also going to take her revenge on Aaron because she didn't deserve to be played like that. She really was a strong woman. She promised that she was going to make it very hard for the two of them, and they would not get away with it very easily. You can't get away with it very easily if you hurt someone this much, actually. Lately, I started getting cold with my wife. Time was about to end, and I didn't have to fake it anymore. In fact, as a part of my revenge, I started talking a lot about a colleague of mine that I knew Claire hated. Her name was Lauren. Lauren was an analyst at the firm I worked at. She was a very sharp woman and very confident. With her confidence, she drew people to her. As for me, I had always tried to keep the relationship with her professional. Lauren was very nice anyway, and mentioning her at home, I wanted to plant the seed of doubt in Claire's mind. Anyway, at work, I was really finding more excuses to spend more time with Lauren because I needed to feel valued as well, and she made me feel like that. It was time to test Claire again, so I told her that Lauren told me I looked very hot, and she made a very funny joke. I noticed her face changing as I knew that she hated Lauren. She had met a few times during work dinners where she came to accompany me. "Oh, you talk to her a lot," she said. I could notice the jealousy notes in her voice, and I explained to her that I talked to her because she made me feel good, and as well, we worked together, so we had to talk to each other. I started talking about her a lot until one night while my wife was looking at her phone, she told me, "You are talking about Lauren a lot lately." She didn't even look me in the eyes, and I replied to her, "Oh, have I? Well, I guess she is making work a little more bearable lately. That is why." I played this game every day and more. But from the other side, Lauren was just a friend of mine. I didn't cross the lines with her. I just made sure that Claire noticed the change. I also started wearing better clothes so she would think that there was something going on at work with Lauren and she would feel the way I felt. One night, Claire finally exploded. And as I was getting ready for bed and I was still talking about Lauren, she told me, "Is there something going on between you and Lauren?" I told her, "Where did you get this?" "She is just a colleague," and she stopped talking about it. But as soon as she stopped, I told her that Lauren had invited us for drinks the next dinner. Claire got alarmed, and for the first time, I felt like she was feeling the way I felt, and she was feeling the weight of her decisions. This was also part of my revenge. But as I said, Lauren was a very good friend and colleague. Honestly, it was true that she made work a little more bearable. But that was it. I never crossed the line with her. We had just a good friendship with each other, and that was it. Work was going very well, and I was feeling very good about everything because it was about time to confront Claire and finish that farce. Then Confront was going to be the final show, and I was planning to do it during her birthday. You will see how. But she was going to regret everything that she had done. I was going to leave her devastated. During this time, I had also stayed in touch with Olivia, who was also taking revenge on her husband, which would affect Claire as well. She was filling out divorce papers, and she was also going to get everything from Iran. Also, she assured me that the divorce was going to be as public as it could be, and it would destroy their reputation and leave them humiliated. No one was going to want to hire them again. The plan was perfect. Also, at this point, I had taken every dollar from our joint account, and there was nothing left for Claire to take. I had been taking new pictures from the private investigator all the time, and the file of the affair was bigger now. If you are guessing what I was going to do with that file, I will let you know in a while. The divorce lawyer told me that I would be able to take everything from my wife. She would be left with nothing. And I and Olivia were also going to destroy their reputation. Claire would be left with no money, and she would not be able to find another job. 2 days before her birthday, I told her I was planning a date for the two of us, but she insisted that we invite both our families since she insisted I was obligated to confront her in front of them. This was her choice. Our families would find out anyway because I was going to send them the affair file. I had planned to send each of them one copy, but now I would confront her about her affair in front of our families. Until that point, I didn't know anymore if she was suspecting anything. I had done so many things along the way. I played her like she played me. I showed her what the game was, actually, and the great moment had come. It was time for the final show. I booked into a well-known and famous restaurant for her birthday, and I sent them some copies of the file with all the proof of her affair with Iran. They were going to be setting the table. There was going to be a copy for everyone. I didn't want her only to feel guilty. I also wanted her to feel how deep a betrayal could be. I wanted her to feel the doubts and the pain she caused me. Also, a copy of all the proof of Claire's relationship with Iran was going to be sent to the Human Resources Department of the company where they both worked. So they were also going to lose their jobs because they had broken the company rules. We went home that night to get ready for the celebration. Watching her getting ready, I was thinking how this plan was amazing because She loved being in the center of attention, and humiliating her in front of everyone would cut her the deepest. The celebration began like every other one. There wasn't anything special about it. The atmosphere at the restaurant was great. The music in the air made me feel really good and at peace with myself. Claire was wearing a beautiful red dress that was tight around her body and highlighted her sexy curves. She looked really hot, but when I thought about how someone else's hands touched her body, I didn't like it anymore. Instead, it made me feel disgusted. I didn't love her anymore. The woman that once I thought was the love of my life had turned into a stranger. No, not into a stranger, into an enemy, because strangers don't hurt you, as they say. The people you love the most hurt you the most. Anyway, everyone had already come, and they were wishing Claire a happy birthday. The files were in the middle of the table, but I asked everyone not to touch them. Not yet. I told them that it was a surprise for my wife. I was just waiting for the right moment to explode the bomb. The right moment was the moment before singing Happy Birthday. And I asked everyone to pay attention to me, and I began. Before singing Happy Birthday, I would like to say a few words about my wife. Everyone had their eyes on me and were listening with attention, and I continued. Claire had always had a way of surprising me, but this time she completely outdid herself. She had been a good wife, well, a part of the time. The other part, she had been creating a special connection with her boss. Please get a copy of the file in front of you. This is my gift for my wife. Happy birthday, Claire. Claire looked so nervous, and her face completely changed when she saw the photos, the messages, and everything that was inside. Then I turned my look to her parents. His face was all red, asking what the hell was going on. How could his daughter do that? My parents were exchanging awkward glances. His brother also asked in a rough tone, "What?" Everyone was shocked. I led everyone there and triumphantly left the table. I headed home, and Claire came after me, telling me this was a mistake, but I was being cruel, and I explained to her that cruel was what she did instead. I told her that being cruel is cheating on your partner or telling them that your boss is more attractive than them. That is what is attractive. I told her that I had the divorce papers at home, and I wanted her and her things out of the house since that night. I let the empty joint account be a surprise for her. I also told her that I had sent a copy of the file to her job, so she was going to be fired, her and her attractive boss. So yeah, I was not happy after this story, but I was proud that I didn't allow her to play me. I was proud that I was the person I was. I don't regret doing all those things. She deserved worse. Now she knew how it felt. This was my story, guys. I hope you will support me in this tough time. Thank you for reading my story, everyone. Nathan. Update. Hello, guys. It's me, Nathan, again. Many of you have asked some questions, so here I am to give you all a short update about my story. You asked what happened to Aaron. He experienced the worst divorce ever. It was painful and very public. His reputation was destroyed, and as for the information I have, he is still struggling to find a job. No one wants to hire him or Claire. Also, her reputation is destroyed. I have heard she is living with one of her friends. She was frustrated when she found out that I took all the money from our joint bank account, and she came to me screaming, but she could not do anything. Later on, she had been trying to reconcile with me, but I will never forgive her for what she did to me. Also, I still am in touch with Olivia. She is such a strong and kind woman. She had become such a good friend to me. So yeah, guys, this is the end of my story. I won't be back for any updates anymore. Thank you very much for the time you have spent reading my story. Wishing you all the best. Nathan.